Hi John.
Hey Helene, all right?
Yeah, really good, thanks. Thanks for having me on site. I'm really looking forward to what you're going to be doing here.
Yeah, no problem. Should we go and take a look?
Let's do that. We're in Bristol, beautiful spring weather in the rain and snow. Tell me what you're doing here.
So on this particular bridge, we've cleared vegetation and trees to gain access. We've had scaffolding erected, and then we've repointed and repaired spoiled bricks in the arch and repaired masonry in the parapets. And also, we're going to be, I don't know if you can see, we've got this circumferential fracture running through the arch there. Where the boys are putting new bricks in. So we're going to be tying the bridge together and putting anchors in on both sides to run in around the arch.
And that's a fracture that runs all the way across?
Yeah, from springing point to springing point. And then we'll install Syntec anchors to hold the voussoir together so that to stop the fractures.
All these engineering terms, the voussoir, what's that?
Well, the voussoir is the outside face of the arch.
Okay. Okay.
Around, yeah.
So you're basically bringing it together with metal anchors.
That's it, yeah.
Great, okay. So you mentioned at the start that you had to come in first and do some vegetation clearance and clear the site ready for the works. How does that happen? You know, why do you have to do that?
Well, we obviously need to create room to gain access to the structure, so our tree surgeons come a couple of weeks before we start with the ecologists. They'll inspect the trees and vegetation that needs to be removed. We'll fell and remove the necessary vegetation and trees, and then that gives us working room then to put the scaffolding in.
And do you often have problems with that? Is there lots that you have to clear on site?
Pretty much every bridge or structure has got some sort of vegetation or trees to be removed to gain access. Yeah.
All right. So you obviously clear the site and you have to cut down vegetation. There's an impact perhaps on the ecology. So we've just said that you leave a site in a better state than you find it. What other things do you do to benefit the site? Well,
the ecologists do surveys before we start, and then we've got this thing like enhancement measures that we implement when the work's finished. So we add bat boxes, bird boxes, hedgehog houses, dormouse boxes. So there's an enhancement when the work finishes there.
Right. Yeah. And is it site specific depending on the species that may be present?
Yeah. So every site has a survey by the ecologists, and they then deem what's necessary each site.
Super. And what about on this site? What specifically will you be doing here?
There's bird boxes and hedgehog boxes on this site.
John, I can see you've put some new bricks in this part of the arch. What are you doing here?
So the bricks had spalled to a depth over 20 millimetres. So the men cut out all the defective brickwork and put in new bricks, and we try and get the bricks then to match the existing look of the bridge. Right.
Okay. So this bridge is one of the historical railway estate assets and is over 100 years old. When it was built, it went over a railway line with, I guess, a farm track above it. But now we have a road. So the work you're doing today is helping to keep the bridge and the road above safe.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. So our works, I think this is a 6-week job, pointing and brickwork repairs, and it's one of a dozen bridges that we've done in this area over the last year.
You mentioned that you've been working on dozens of projects around this area over the last few years. So it's a specialist role, and how long have you been doing that?
Well, the company Hammond's have been doing it for over 20 years, and I've worked for Hammond for 15 years, well 16 years actually, so I've been solely working on this type of stuff for the last 16 years.
16 years? What do you love most about doing this type of work?
Travelling to different parts of the UK and meeting the different people and working on these historic structures.
So the Historical Railways Estate is made up of over 3,000 structures, and to help us prioritise and plan our work, we inspect the structures every year, and we use a wealth of expert supply chain partners, contractors, who help us do that in terms of our ecology surveys, the inspections on our structures, and then the work, as you've seen today, with Hammond's on site.